Well, hello, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all fighting fit and well. Look, today I want to talk to you about 5 things which I think is very important if you want to improve your photography. There's plenty of ways we can learn to improve our photography, but these 5 things I believe quite crucial actually, and very easy to do, very easy to employ in your photography if you want to improve. Now, I'll start at number 5 and then work my way down to number 1. Number 5 is learn to edit. Now, digital manipulation, some people just take it too far and the image becomes quite not believable. The idea is to learn editing, especially if you're shooting in RAW, is to edit your images just slightly without changing the whole file or the whole image to where it's virtually unbelievable, where people start to question the image, and you don't really want that. So learning to edit in the right way is super important, very, very important. Now, I teach that in my Photoshop or Lightroom classes that I hold through Sniper Photography and through our website. But learning to edit is super important, especially if you just want to learn the tweaks and the little tips and tricks with your editing. So learn editing and do it properly, just to lift that image up slightly from what it first was when you took the shot, and I think you'll find that your images will look so much better if you learn to edit correctly. Number 4, plan your photos. I am a weather fanatic. I follow the weather. I live in an area where the weather's quite extreme in winter. In summer we have bushfires, in winter we have snow and below freezing temperatures. So I follow the weather religiously, and if you really want to improve your photography, following the weather and planning your photos around weather and the climate is super important, I believe. I use various apps like Sunseeker, Photo Pills is another good one that I use. And I also use Photographer's Emiphis, which is a superb app. You've got to pay for that, but it's a superb app to use. So they're the 3 I use. But you can also use, I don't use it much, but friends of mine do, and that's Google Earth. Google Earth is outstanding because it's a 3D image and you can move it around the area and you can see at what times of day the light will be in that area or affecting that area, which cuts down on your wasted time. So planning your photos or your photo shoots around certain times of day and weather or weather events is very, very good. For me, I always look for a low pattern weather system because that means we're going to get cloud, possible rain and overcast conditions, which is absolutely superb for landscape photography. So planning your photos around the weather, I think, is super important. Number 3, shoot what you love. Now, naturally, if you're watching this, you love landscape photography, seascape photography, but if you're into other things like car photography or architecture, start photographing that. Build a plan around what you love to photograph. That'll help you greatly. It'll help you move on up the ranks of becoming a good photographer, but shoot what you love. And for me, it's landscapes, seascapes and street photography. So if you can shoot what you love and concentrate on that, build a plan around it, I think your photography will improve without a doubt. Study the great photographers, and the reason why I say that is because the techniques that they used are still worthy of today, regardless of camera equipment changing, and obviously the equipment has changed compared to what they were using years and years ago. If you can study and read extracts from books of great photographers over the years, that's another way of improving. Not necessarily to copy their work, but to have a look how they did it and to grab their thought process of how to capture those fantastic images. And for me, my idol was obviously Ansel Adams. Ansel Adams was a superb photographer in the United States. I have many of his books here, and if you really want to see or learn the essence of landscape photography, I think Ansel Adams is probably a book you need to read, or a well-known photographer that you should be studying up on. The other one is an Australian, Ken Duncan, a superb, one of the best landscape photographers Australia's ever produced, and his work's outstanding. I've actually met Ken, and you can learn so much from people like those two gentlemen there. Sadly, one of them has passed, being Ansel Adams, of course. Ken Duncan's still in the industry, but his images are outstanding, and he's only too pleased to talk to you about photography all day and all night. A great photographer. So if you can follow those two people and study their work, and as I said, not necessarily copy it, but formulate your own thoughts and ideas with how they were capable of taking these great shots. So let's study the great photographers. Number one, see like your camera. Now, what I mean by that is our brain locks things out. Many years ago, when I started taking photography, I'd take a photo thinking it was perfect. And when I got it home in the dark room, all of a sudden there was these trees in the way, or power lines, or how did that happen? How did I miss that? Well, basically trying to see like a human being through the lens of the camera or the viewfinder. I think if you can see like your camera, and in other words, look closely at your square inside your camera. Look at the corners and the sides, the top and the bottom before you push the shutter button. You've got to educate your brain to work with your eye and your camera. Now, I did a video not long ago about closing one eye, like that, or just closing one eye. If you do that, you'll see that things on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, in your case, they disappear. Now, if you look through your viewfinder and you can see things that really aren't necessarily have to be in the frame, just look away from your camera and cover one eye, like so, either left or right. And you'll see automatically what you need to leave out. It's very difficult to do this in camera. As you know, I've been doing this for many years, and I still struggle with that. So the only way I've found to overcome that is to close one eye, either left or right, or go like that and have a look. But see like a camera, and that will, if you can educate your brain to think like that before you push the shutter button, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how well your images will improve. So yeah, that's the 5 things that I think lots of people should be concentrating on when it comes to wanting to improve in their photography. So that's it. Any questions or comments, please put them down below. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell next door so you don't miss anything. So until then, my name's Glenn Samuel. Thank you for watching Sniper Photography, and as I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends, but most of all, you keep shooting, keep smiling, and bye for now.